Hi, Clayton. This is Ana Alicia here in Denver, Colorado. And my husband and I, we're already taking our first steps to financial freedom. We would like to retire within 5 years and have our mortgage paid off in 5 years. I've been listening to a lot of your podcasts and I've been downloading some of your free material. Thank you for that. And I have a couple of questions. One of them is about HELOC, line of credits. I've been looking locally, like you said, and I can only find variable. I have a really hard time finding something that is fixed. And it seems to me that that is kind of risky. If you can talk a little bit more about that, does it really matter? And the other question is about non-recourse loans. You always talk about them. You say that the best thing out there to use, but when I asked Haley, she said I need a 401k, which made no sense to me since supposedly you said they using the investment property as a factor to decide whether to invest, not yourself. So if you can talk a little bit about that. Thank you.
Okay, a couple of things. So Haley is a member of our team at Morris Invest. And Haley can dive more deeply into that with you on the phone as to your current situation because I don't know the full picture on Alicia. So I can't. I wish I could speak more to it, but Haley is going to obviously have more of your details. She's working with you and can go over that. A non-recourse loan is fantastic, but it might not be for everyone. I mean, a non-recourse loan is great if you have maybe credit that is a little less than stellar, perhaps. Um, and that's going to be weighted a certain way. Obviously, if you're an international investor, non-recourse loan might be beneficial. If you also have already 9 or 10 properties through a traditional financing, through a traditional bank. Remember, under federal law, you're only allowed to have 10 under your own name for traditional financing. So therefore, what do you do after that? Well, you go to the non-recourse financing route. So things to consider. I'm not necessarily sure that non-recourse might be right for you. It might not be right for you. But again, some things to discuss with Haley specifically on your credit situation. Yes, while they're not looking at, they care more about the asset than you. They're still going to look at you, right? I mean, they're still going to do credit and stuff, but it's weighted more towards the asset than I should say. So it's disingenuous for me to say they don't really care about you. I mean, they do because you're taking out the loan, but they care more about the asset. And they're going to still look to see if you're a competent lendee, any good bank would do that. They're not just going to hand it off to some random person. But again, it is weighted more towards the asset itself. It is, after all, a non-recourse loan, so it's not tied to you personally. It's not tied to your personal credit. It's tied to, there is no recourse against you personally. It's towards the asset itself. I hope that makes a little bit more clarity there. As for the home equity line of credit, yes, I'm a huge fan of home equity lines of credit. It sounds like you're having some difficulty in your neck of the woods finding one that with a fixed rate. Now, in my experience, I have only ever had a variable rate home equity line of credit. Okay. Those are the only ones I've ever had. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't exist. They absolutely exist. So if you want, you reach out to, you don't necessarily have to do it locally, but if you'd like to do a first lien HELOC, our friend Dan Kraus at Churchill Mortgage. Again, we'll link it up in the show description. Dan, who I speak to regularly, he can do first lien home equity lines of credit. So I'd reach out to him to see if he can do it for you. Churchill Mortgage does mortgages in multiple states, not just in the South. So connect with Dan. He's a great guy. Again, not an affiliate at any course with us at all. We don't make any money off of loans or anything like that, but Dan is a good guy and he can help you in that regard. You might need to go outside of your home territory a little bit to shop around. And it sounded like you said you were having difficulty finding, but it sounded like you did at least come across 1 or 2 banks or something that had a home equity line of credit that is not variable, that is a fixed rate. I'd find out more information about that. But variable is not terrible either. You just need to be careful about how you use it. Remember, you start a home equity line of credit with $0. So it's a $0 home equity line of credit. So, you just need to use it and you need to be strategic about how you use it. Is it something that you're going to use to pay off your individual mortgage that you're currently living in, as we write about in our book, How to Pay Off Your Mortgage in 5 Years? Then you need to be strategic. Are you going to be paying it off every few months? Well, where the interest rate is not going to jump up too much in a few months. But if you're going to hold it for 10 years, then of course, or 5 years, then having that variable rate could be interesting because it could jump up to 7%, could jump back down to 5%. It could hop around a little bit. So as long as you're being strategic with it and using it like a scalpel, then you should be okay. But if you're going to hold on to that and max that home equity line of credit out and hope that you're just going to keep it open for 10 years, that's where you could run into some variable interest rate issues. But definitely shop around, connect with Dan, see what he can do on a fixed home equity line of credit, and then speak more closely to Haley specifically on the non-recourse financing piece as it relates to your 401k and those items. I hope that helps. Book a call with our team today. You just go over to our website. Just go to Morris Invest. That's MORRIS, morrisinvest.com. Click on the big book a call button right there if you're interested in jumping on the phone with us for 30 minutes. Please put in your correct email address and your phone number, and you'll pick on a calendar the 30-minute time slot that you'd like to speak to us by, and we'll call you at that time. Also, if you'd like to leave us a voicemail question, again, right on the front page, there's a microphone icon on the lower right-hand side of the screen. Click on that, and you can leave us a 30-second voicemail question here that we can answer for you on the show. Now go out there, take action, and become a real estate investor. Even in this crazy market, I still believe it's the number one way to protect and build wealth. We'll see you next time.